Welcome back to another episode of Livewire, you guys. I'm your host, Jared Moore, and Livewire is a program where we take your questions from the chat. And on tonight's program, we have Mvskoke composer Aryn Ward. Aryn, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, Aryn,
Um,
I guess to start off with, tell us a little bit about where you're from and how you got involved in music.
okay, so um I guess I live in Houston now, but I'm originally from Sapulpa, Oklahoma, and I did like drumline and stuff at Sapulpa High School. So and played in the pit for a year or two. So but I also kind of like ran away from music and went to NSU for like visual communications degree in Northeastern State University in Tahlequah. And then I had four kids, so they kept me pretty busy for a while, and we moved down to Houston with my husband's family, and that's where he's a band director now at a school near us. And then I have been helping him, with lessons and things. And I said, why not learn how to play all these woodwind instruments? So I picked up a flute and picked up a clarinet and a bass clarinet. And so now I play, I actually went back to school for music at Houston Christian University, and for well, I was playing flute there in the marching band and everything. So um and yeah, it's been wild, but I also like I have really enjoyed playing music. And then I was like, well, I have all this music and improv, and I love to improv with like around the Houston area. And I just like have all this music that I want to, get out there. And I was like, why don't I just write something? So that's kind of where I started writing.
Awesome. Yeah, I was looking at your YouTube channel, and guys, if you're watching this, there's a link to Aryn's YouTube channel in the description of this video, and I highly recommend that you go and subscribe to her channel. Let's get her subscribers up because she is a citizen and she's out there doing something that not a lot of citizens are doing, not a lot of Native Americans are doing. But um, I saw on your channel there was a video where you had a composition that was playing, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that Muse Score? Is that the software that you're using, Muse Score, to do that?
Oh no, I actually use Notion. Yeah.
Notion. Okay.
It's got
So
like MIDI files. Yeah.
so tell me about going into doing that. Like actually writing the sheet music, and then because I know the audience may not be familiar with it because I've used some of those programs, but tell me about what it was like, how you got introduced to that, and was that a big light bulb moment?
I mean, and I took piano lessons when I was like little, so I know how to play like piano a little bit, not like crazy classical or anything. I should
Hmm.
probably practice more, but um uh no, I can sometimes I play it on the piano when I'm composing first, and I kind of get it in my head, or I'll play it on, like, I have a cedar flute. Sometimes I play it on cedar flute, or sometimes I'll grab my flute and play a melody, and I'll be like, oh, I like that, and then I'll write it out on the program. And then I'm able to like transpose things on there and like move parts around. So if I write it all on the flute line, I can split it up and like make it kind of cascade. I like doing that in my
Hmm.
compositions, but kind of like echoes of the same melody. And I like that um kind of like, I don't know, style in my music. And you'll hear that if you hear any of my pieces. It usually happens at least once. So yeah, but yeah, I really enjoy writing like that. And sometimes I'll write it out on sheet music, like actual paper too. But um for the most part, I do use my iPad and kind of like write into Notion the notes, and I can draw on there the same as paper. So
Your YouTube channel, you also has some performances of some of your stuff and other things. Like, could you talk a little bit about how did you move from just writing the sheet music into like getting it performed with people? Like, what was that experience like?
that's been wild because it's so recent. So that just happened in July. I wrote Dafa Hodali, which is Featherwind, in Muskogee trio, for alto flute, bassoon, and harp, which is not a normal combo of classical instruments. So that's interesting in itself. But I sent my piece to some of my professors to look over like the harp part and make sure, the hands, it's not awkward or anything to play. And then I also sent my piece to Dr. Connor Bell at West Texas A&M University. So he's up there in Canyon, and he was like, "Oh wow, this is great. Can I perform it at the faculty recital at the band camp that I just went to?" And so I was like, yeah, like that would be awesome. Yeah, so but yeah, he was really helpful, Connor, in being really supportive for one, but also just being encouraging and willing to play a piece that's never been heard before, live. But that was performed by Dr. Connor Bell, and Dr. Jessica Shuri Peckham, and then Dr. Jenny Miller. And they all three, I was backstage, when they were about to perform it, and they went out there, and I was listening from the wing, and I was like, oh man, this is like awesome, because the Jenny made that first chord of Dafa Hodali, which is on my YouTube if you want to listen to it. But it's like it's supposed to be about like an eagle feather falling off of an eagle flying like 10,000 feet in the air. Okay, so it's when the feather comes off, and so that was like, I was like, oh wow, I like actually could hear it, and it's not MIDI,
Right.
but it's those like cartoon sounds. But yeah, that was intense, and it was crazy to hear like my melody that I wrote being played live in front of all of these kids at band camp, and these professors and band directors from all over. There were some people from Australia there.
Wow.
So yeah, so yeah, it was amazing. But but yeah, that's one of my pieces. Hopefully I answered what you were asking me.
Yeah,
But
for sure. No. Well, we've had a question pop up while we were talking. TY Pearl's asking, do you work with our youth? Connecting them with contemporary Muskogee creative natives ensures that there will be another generation. Do you work with Muskogee youth in any way, or is it, or like, what youth do you work with?
Well, I do include my own kids, which they are Muskogee, obviously, but all four of my kids. So my oldest daughter, she actually plays a bunch of brass instruments. Euphonium is her main instrument, but she can also play trombone and trumpet and what is it? All of the brass. She's very, very talented, and she's actually played my cedar flute a couple times at her school events. So she knows how to just pull something out of herself and present it, which is really good. But I have not worked with Muskogee youth other than my own children, but I am in Houston, so it's kind of hard to get up there. But I would love to come and work up there and be able to teach kids about expressing yourself through music, which is kind of what I did with Nameless Sound, which is a nonprofit organization here in Houston. I actually facilitated some workshops with kids in after school programs or in like community center kind of things. So and some of them were not great, neighborhoods, but there was like an escape for them to go and be able to express themselves and be able to play music. And it was totally free improvisation. So this is like, you get an instrument and you play something, and then we kind of just make it work as a group. And it was always really cool when we got into like a groove together, and you could feel it, because when you start playing with each other, man, that's like the best feeling when you're playing music, is when everybody's kind of connected on that level of, oh, this is sounding good, like,
yeah, absolutely.
I really like this. So, but yeah, it's helpful for that, but then it's also helpful for the kids that, are kind of scared of making noise maybe, or have been told, hey, no, be quiet, you know, you have to be
Mm-hmm.
quiet to be good. No, you don't have to be quiet. You can express yourself and still be, you know, a good kid. You can still make a note then, and even if it sounds wrong, that's fine. Just find something else, you know,
Yeah,
keep going.
absolutely, absolutely.
But
Well, we've had some questions pop up here. Ty Pearl asks, "What do you think of crafting a wind instrument out of a lightning whelk shell and composing a piece to play out of it? Do you think you could do
oh
that?"
my goodness. I feel like I would at least try it. I mean, that sounds really cool. I'd have to like look up and get like a visual for that, but yeah, that sounds neat.
And then ASL for Christ asks, "Where do you get your inspiration?"
Okay, so that is my husband's account, so um I'll call him out since he did that. But so it's a good question. So my inspiration, I think, for writing music is really just, I mean, it's a lot of things. So I like to connect on a different level, and music gives me that connection level of like, it's not just surface level. It gets down, and it's more of a spiritual connection when you're playing music and you're writing music even. But that really inspires me. But also, I mean, so many people have inspired me in so many things and so many places. And um I mean, obviously my kids. I've written music for my daughter. I wrote her a euphonium solo to play, and she performed it I think twice now with her school. So but I also kind of write little trios for my other kids, like my youngest boy Joshua to play the saxophone, and Jackson to play his French horn, you know, with his music that he likes to listen to, or
Yeah.
just to be able to get them to practice and play. But I also compose my music using the Muskogee language and the rhythmic patterns within the language, and that's kind of my starting point of what do I want this to be about. I either think of like what story do I want it to convey, or like what feeling, or like what words, like the Muskogee Month Suite, which is one of the ones that I'm writing, and that's a monthly thing. So I keep putting out a new piece every month, which is wild, and I don't know why I did that to myself, but it's been really great. It's been really great for me to like keep learning and keep pushing forward, and you know, learning how to write a harp piece, or learning how to write a cello, or a what is it? I wrote a string quartet recently
Awesome.
for each month, and they're all based on the rhythms are all based on Muskogee, the names in Muskogee of each month.
Well, we should
So
we should touch on that too. So are you? Is Muskogee something that you grew up with, or is it something you're learning later? Because I know a lot of citizens they're picking it up later through online classes and stuff. How did you get your language components?
yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. Is I didn't really know a whole lot growing up. But like my grandpa Walker, he died real when I was really young. And so it was hard to, you know, reconnect to that side of my family and get back in with it. But um I still keep in touch with with my family, obviously. But um I just kind of got really inspired to like look up the language, and through high school I kind of was like pursuing it myself, and just kind of saying, oh well, how do you say that in Muskogee, like how do you
Mm-hmm.
read it, like how do you say these letters, like
Mm-hmm.
um but I was really intrigued by language in general. So I like looking up like even like Chickasaw, or I'll look up Cherokee, like how do you read that, or how do you pronounce these things, because I like the natural cadence and the rhythm of the words, because it's different than English, and it's different than like, you know, the languages we've heard. Because it is, it's
Mm-hmm.
its own thing, and it's a way to connect. But yeah, I have jumped on a few online courses, you know, the free language classes, and um but yeah, my sister she actually took a Muskogee language class at OU, so
I see.
she probably knows more than I do, but um,
Well, and
but yeah.
that I don't know, you might already be familiar with it, but the language program at the Creek Nation has a website now with online dictionary and everything. If you guys haven't checked that out, just you could Google it or go to the Mvskoke Creek Nation's website for the language program, and it has a lot of resources on there too. And then also on our channel, we have the online language lessons that they did. I think it was during COVID. So, but the resources are all in the links to those videos, so you guys can check that out too. Ty Proles popped up another question here. Would you be interested in showcasing your work in Tulsa during the Muskogee Art Market? It could use more performing arts.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Um, I will always say yes.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
um, but yeah, I actually am planning a festival here in Houston. It's called the Good Medicine Indigenous Music Festival. And so I've invited not just Muskogee artists, but all Native American
mhm.
tribes are invited. But um, so far, I have Laura Ortman. She plays violin and she does electronics. She's amazing. I actually played with her at Lawndale Art Center here in Houston
Mhm.
a while back, and she's the most fun person you'll meet. But so she's coming, and then Raven Chacon just recently said yes, he's coming. So I'm really excited about those two for sure. And then Dr. Jacqueline Wilson, who's the principal bassoonist for the Washington, Idaho Symphony. She's also coming, and she's going
Awesome.
to perform, I think, some of her works there. And so that's in November in Houston. I'll be sure to put stuff out on my social media
For
and
sure.
be able to, promote that a little bit more. But yeah, that will be great. And some of my music will be performed too. So
Awesome.
um, but but yeah, that's hopefully answering questions. I'm trying
Yeah,
to
no, you're
remember.
doing great. I did want to ask, you've got your musical knowledge that you're always growing and learning new stuff, and your kids are learning. It, the generation above you, though, like, is music something that was in your family, or are you like the first one, or how did that work out for you?
So my dad plays drums, so he played the drums in church all through when I was like growing up, and so I got to listen to that and be involved in that. That's why I chose drums as my instrument in high school, and as my first instrument. So percussion and doing that. And then my mom also plays piano. So she's played piano, and we had a piano in our house growing up. And um I she tells me that I sang with her in church, but I don't really remember. um but but yeah, I do sing in our church here, but and play piano and play the flute at our church. And my daughter plays bass guitar, which she learned to play just for church. but but yeah, growing up, I mean, I had lots of musical things around me, and band was really like the highlight of high school. I wasn't some band nerd. I still like played soccer and tennis and track and cross country. Like I was all over the place. I think I was even on the bowling team in high school. So
Great. Uh,
um
we've
but
had a
yeah.
we had a question pop up here. Ty Pearl's asking, who are your favorite composers?
Who Oh, that's a hard question. So I would say Jared Tate for sure. I got to go see his American Indian Symphony at played by the Oklahoma City Philharmonic recently, and oh my gosh, that was amazing. Dr. Kirsten Kunkel and Mark Billy, they were the leads in that performance. But oh my gosh, that was wild because it was in all these native languages, and
Yeah.
the music, and I mean it was just a lot. But um definitely Jared Tate. I would say uh now I do listen to Redbone a lot, but that's like not not Come and Get Your Love like the other stuff.
Right, right.
um but yeah, I like all music, like, and I like improv and free improv, so I like being inspired by like really just people in general.
Hmm.
um I would say, like, especially here in Houston, I get to go and improv with these people and from who knows where. Like, I just kind of show up, and sometimes there's, somebody that just moved here, or there's like somebody that's been here for a long time, or like my brother-in-law, who's a very, very talented guitarist, and he likes to improv and do stuff, and everything that they play is something new and I haven't heard before, and it's just so inspiring to hear music in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah.
Well, we're approaching 20 minutes here. I don't see any more questions popping up in there. If you guys have got a question, pop it into the chat. Is there anything that maybe you want to talk about with music, or what you're doing now that we haven't talked about that you think it's important to mention?
um uh, Let me see.
Oh,
So
we've had a
you
question
got a
pop up.
question?
Yeah, this is this is from your husband. He says, from Jax, what has been your favorite piece you have written so far?
Ah, okay. Jackson is my oldest boy. Um, let's see. My favorite piece. I want to say it's Dafa Horley, just because I love hearing the harp and the alto flute, which is like the lower flute. It's got the curved head joint. It's a little bit bigger. And the bassoon, just all together. Oh my gosh, it's got this like calming energy to it in general. Like, they could play anything, I feel like, and it would sound good. But
Absolutely.
yeah, Featherwind Trio. So that one's probably my favorite that I've written so far.
Well, Aryyn, thank you so much for joining us tonight. You've been a great guest. And what's going on in the future? Do you have compositions that are going to premiere anywhere, or do you have anything you want to pub before we get out of here?
Really just the Good Medicine Indigenous Music Festival that's coming to Houston. It'll be in Midtown. So if you're looking for it, it's going to be November 14th and 15th, kind of that weekend. Um, but yeah, I will post more about that, and definitely follow me on my socials and my Instagram. It's just at Muskogee Music. And then my YouTube also. But yeah.
Awesome. Hey, you guys go subscribe to Aryyn so we can get our numbers pumped up. If you're watching this, if you've subscribed to our channel, you should subscribe to Aryyn's channel too. So, well, thanks so much for being on the program tonight. We are right around the time that we normally wrap, and everybody's
Perfect.
loving everything that you do. I went and watched your YouTube stuff. It's great. And
Oh wow.
I have a project I was going to talk to you about after we get out of here, and then maybe later we could talk to the audience about it. But
Okay.
you guys later this week, or actually tomorrow, we're going to have another live wire. So it's the very rare 2 live wire week. And tomorrow we're going to have on Lucille Contreras. She is being featured in a PBS short documentary series called Women of the Earth that is going to the episode is going to premiere tomorrow on PBS Terra, the PBS Terra YouTube channel. So I think at like 1 o'clock the episode premieres, and then we're going to be interviewing her at 6 o'clock. And she is working on buffalo revitalization for tribes. So that's what we're going to be talking to her about. So tune in then if you guys have any questions about that, and check out the episode tomorrow. There'll also be a link in the description of that video for that PBS episode. So, but that's on tomorrow. And then next week, I don't know what day I'm going to do it. Probably maybe Monday. I'm going to do a live stream just about the upcoming election and the constitutional amendment that's going to be on the ballot, and some other things that, related to the Friedman decision recently came out. So just kind of like a primer video, because the next month is going to be, you guys should expect to see the Meet the Candidate videos start popping up on our channel with each individual candidate, because we're going to be sending out the invitations on Monday. And then as I get people scheduled, we'll have them on the program. So Aryyn, thanks so much for joining us tonight, and thanks so
Yeah.
much for you guys out there for tuning in. And I'm sorry I interrupted you. Go ahead, Aaron.
No, I just said yeah. Thanks.
All right, great. And we'll see you guys next time. Mado Hadum. Chihichot, Lees.